Welcome to week 2 of #Do You Know Him? We're travelling through the Gospel accounts to get to know something more about the character, the life and the person of Jesus. And as we journey on, we'll be finding answers to the question, who is Jesus and do you know him? Last week, our Gospel story was about the calming of the storm. Jesus was in the boat on the Sea of Galilee when a violent storm appears. Jesus sleeps through the storm. His disciples, fishermen amongst them, panic. Jesus is awoken, calms the storm, and peace returns. And the disciples ask in wonder and amazement, who is this? Who is this that controls creation over storms, confusion, and fears? Many see this story as having a much wider application. Most of us will not face storms in small boats on inland seas, but all of us face storms in our lives. No one goes through life without struggles, challenges, disappointments and pains. The message of this story is that Jesus is Lord of all. Just as God spoke creation into being, so Jesus calms the storm. In my life, there have been challenges as well as bereavements and losses. Part of the challenge for me comes when big decisions have to be taken. How can I know God's way? What I have discovered is that when I go against God, I don't have peace. I worry, don't sleep, get fraught. But when I go in God's way, there is a peace. The Bible tells me that the fruit of the Spirit, living our lives in God's way, is to experience love, joy, and peace. I think of some of the big decisions I've made in my life. Maybe the biggest was to offer to the Methodist Church to be trained as a minister. Giving up my good job as an accountant, going off to college, learning things like Greek were not my natural choice. But I discovered they were God's choice, and when I made that commitment, I experienced a peace. The other thing about this story is about faith. The disciples had been with Jesus, and yet they still panicked in the storm. When they awakened Jesus and he calmed the storm, they saw something that would change their attitude to Jesus and to their lives with him. They realized that he could do things in their lives that would bring them peace. They learned to trust him. Their faith grew as they saw what Jesus did. Now, I do not believe that God sends trials into our lives, but I do believe that God allows those trials in our lives so that we can discover that there is a God who is at work amongst us and that we can learn to trust some more, and so our faith increases. And that's part of our basic journey as a Christian, faith in Jesus Christ. I hope for you this week will reveal more about who is this Jesus.